I'm Guna from Analytics Plus, and welcome to this webinar titled The Secret to Delivering Exceptional Customer Service. Let me start with a quick introduction. I'm a technical consultant at ManageEngine, and I help organizations gain insight into their IT data. If you have questions during this webinar, feel free to use the questions panel, and I'll be happy to answer them via email after the webinar. Delivering exceptional customer service is a dream for many help desk managers. While they are familiar with most of the common challenges they come across during this battle, they lack the insights to overcome these challenges and win the war. So, if you're a help desk manager or a help desk technician who is looking to deliver exceptional customer service to your end users, you have come to the right place. In this webinar, I'm going to give you the secrets that can help you achieve your dream. So, the secret to delivering exceptional customer service is to get a holistic view of your entire IT in one place. This will help you get unified insights from several perspectives and stakeholders, such as your help desk itself, your service or support processes, and of course, your most valuable resource, your customers. So, for instance, from the help desk angle, you can automate help desk processes, minimize service disruptions, and minimize recurring incidents. Likewise, from the operations angle, you can see how you can improve your processes and services continuously. That helps technician become more productive. So these two things can go a long way in delivering quality services and ensuring high customer satisfaction. And finally, this might seem a little difficult to believe, but your customers can actually help you deliver better customer experiences. You can empower them with the knowledge based resources to help themselves, that is, resolve their own issues. You can also take several simple but sustainable measures to improve communications that can help you deliver great customer service. I'll discuss all these points in detail in this webinar. So let's get started with the first one. The first secret, which is automating the help desk processes. Right. Automating the help desk processes involves a little bit of, examples that you might have to consider, because as far as I've researched, 30 to 40% of the incoming help desk requests are for password resets. Now, let's see the top two reasons for the password reset request in any help desk. So, the first is complex passwords that are not easy to remember, and there is no self-service solution to reset the password when expired. To solve this problem, you need to gain insights on how many password requests that comes to your help desk and understand if there is a seasonality factor behind it. I've built a report using my sample data set, and from this report, what I've done is I've picked new joinees who have been assigned laptops in the month of January. So it's quite clear that the password request floods the help desk once in 6 months, which is a very good indicator that the employee approaches the help desk when their password expires due to the company's policy of changing the password every 6 months. So a good solution here would be to deploy a self-service password management tool like AD Self-Service Plus from ManageEngine, using which the admin finds it easy to automate password resets, account unlocks, while optimizing the IT expenses associated with the help desk calls. Now, let's take the rerouting request. Yes, the service desk comes with some preset rules that you can use to route tickets to technicians automatically, but there is still some manual work involved in assigning tickets to the right people. For example, if a request requires expert assistance from a technicians or the special skills of technicians trained in that particular area. So let's see how analytics can help in this case. Here is a report that helps you gain insight about the technician change pattern for your request. I have filtered the report to show only VPN-based incident request. So the request ID 1160 was moved from unassigned to either, and he spent close to 131 minutes, which is 2 hours, with no resolution. And he moved the ticket to John, who solved the request in 25 minutes. Surprisingly, all the VPN based incidents are transferred to John. If John can resolve all the issues, why not automatically assign tickets to him that is something to do with VPN issues? So with this, here is the action item that you can take. So here are my suggestions. You can create new business rules, help desk, so the incidents are assigned to the right people. You can conduct a special training to the technicians to handle VPN related incidents. Let's move on to the next secret. So the inability to maintain reliable service can hugely impact productivity and skyrocket operational cost. Did you know that the organization report the downtime costing more than $3,000 per hour according to Gartner? In our previous report, we identified that John was able to resolve all VPN based incidents. However, the need of the hour is to take action before the next service disruption. I'm going to pull up a report that is going to help me find the category of request that comes to the help desk for the last 3 months. So it looks like for the last 3 months, we see quite a lot of VPN related incidents. But this has been happening only in the last 3 months. So this leads me to a question of what changed in the last 3 months. Was it the VPN software application vendor, or did we change any firewall settings that impacted the VPN connection? To find out what has changed, let's look into the data from the change module. So this report shows the list of changes executed in the last 3 months, but the requests that are associated to these changes are still open. This raises some serious red flags because as help desk person myself, I know that any firewall changes or patches or upgradations that happen can mess up the VPN configuration. So as a next step, that is as a part of troubleshooting, we need to ensure the overprotective firewall, which is not halting the connection at the same time without compromising on the network security. So the suggestion here would be check for recent ongoing issues, correlate the ongoing issues with the recently closed changes. So let's move on to the next secret, which is promoting the continuous service improvement. Continuous service improvement is an important part of your regular help desk activity. The need to continuously improve drives managers to optimally look for ways to improve their processes. Typically, the CSI process works this way. You identify a KPI that you want to improve on, identify where you stand currently with respect to that KPI, find factors that influence your KPI, take steps to improve, and then regularly monitor the KPI. So let's say the KPI that I want to improve is SLA breaches. So let's take a look at the report, which compares the number of incoming requests with the SLA violation. So I noticed that about 30% of the total request, breaches SLA. Now this could be because technicians are unable to attend request because they are overburdened already. Let's check that first. The technician load on the open request can give you that insight. As someone who has worked in the technical support for a good part of the professional career, I can say for sure that there is only a handful of requests a help desk technician can concentrate on at any given point in time. When there are too many high priority requests handled to one technician like Joe Williams, it gets really hard for them to keep track of when those tickets are about to breach the SLA and prioritize them efficiently. Too many requests are usually a recipe for a lot of SLA violations. So from this report, it's pretty evident that some of the technicians are pulling in the bulk of the request. So let's say what we could do to stop this behavior. So the suggestion here would be to identify the factors that influence your KPI, correlate with the load factor spread the load among the team, and monitor the KPI. So once we implement some process in place to distribute the load evenly among technicians, we should monitor the SLA violation percentage to see if that has come down. All right, let's move on to the next secret, which is avoiding recurring incidents. Help desk technicians are constantly firefighting to keep the lights on or keep the services and applications running and deliver uninterrupted business services. No doubt in that. This leaves them with little to no time to investigate further into the flood of incidents that keep on their help desk. As a result, most help desks find themselves working repeatedly on the same incidents time and again. We came across an interesting incident in our test service recently. One of our internal test application that is set to take a backup of the entire application data every 24 hours sent out an alarm stating that the scheduled backup failed due to lack of disk space. We cleared some historical data and fixed the issue. A couple of weeks later, the same issue popped up and we fixed it by clearing more historical data. That's the usual method, isn't it? But until finally, we decided to look at the root cause of the issue and found that the server space allocated for this application was not sufficient. Now, let me explain the steps that we followed to solve the issue. We looked into the incidents and we identified recurring issues. We tagged the recurring issues as a problem and we digged deeper to find a solution. Firstly, we need to create a report of the overall incidents to identify the recurring incidents. Let me show you a report that is going to help me find the huge volume of incidents. So if you look at it, I see a huge volume of incidents related to application backup failure. Now, if I drill down further to understand the time of the request created, I'm going to find out that these incidents are generated at 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. It could be due to an update or a backup running at the same time. So the next step is to check if these recurring issues are tagged as a problem. If they are, the next obvious step is to find the solution. So in this case, these incidents were not tagged to a problem. So we raised the problem and then we solved the issue. So in our example, we were able to find out the repeated failures to take backup is due to insufficient disk space. So we ended up allocating more server disk space to a test application that resolved our issue permanently. All right, now let's move on to the next secret, which is helping your technicians become more productive. A primary goal of help desk technician is to close as many tickets as possible within a stipulated SLA time frame. This is great for the help desk, but it affects the technician in two ways. One, they keep on working, focusing only on resolving more and more issues and not paying attention to the real cause. That is, providing dedicated customer support that satisfies the end user. Number two, repetitive and monotonous tasks can drain technicians of their drive to excel. So the answer to tackling these problems is to give your technicians visibility into what's happening in your help desk, giving them a glimpse of how they are performing and how their colleagues are performing will introduce healthy competition and encourage them to resolve requests faster. We all love a little healthy competition, isn't it? It often brings out the best in us by pushing us to do more. The Technician 360-degree view dashboard in Analytics Plus aims to promote this healthy competition among help desk technicians. This dashboard compares technician performance in different areas such as the volume of tickets they have handled, and it also helps you compare the fast resolution time, number of escalations, and ticket reopens, and there is a much more information as you scroll towards the bottom of this dashboard. So this is useful for technicians who want to know how they are performing compared to the rest of the pack. It also help desk managers rank technicians on business critical KPIs. Of course, there is always a room for improvement and motivating your technicians to becoming more productive and provide satisfactory resolutions. For the benefit of technician who would rather not switch between two different applications to view a dashboard, you can embed this dashboard created in Analytics Plus within your service desk. So let me show you how it is done. So you click on the little cloud icon and then select URL or permalink for this view, and you choose access without login and copy this URL. Now go back to your service desk and then click on new and click on the new dashboard option. So once the new dashboard option is selected, give the dashboard a name and then scroll down, give the widget a name and then paste the URL. So now you will have a dedicated dashboard for your technicians within your service desk, and they have the ability to drill down to find the metrics that they are more interested with or do more investigations without having to switch to multiple application. All right, so the suggestion here would be to to promote blameless culture and create healthy competition by creating a 360-degree view dashboard for technicians, and you should also offer a one-stop solution to help technicians gain insight into their performance. All right, so the next secret is help customers help themselves, which is promoting self-service. One of the best means that you can deliver exceptional customer service is to provide options for your customers to help themselves. People would, much rather resolve their issues themselves than reach out to the help desk. This will empower end users and give them an innate sense of satisfaction. But where do you get started? So we should start looking for familiar issues that keep popping up. One such issue that we noticed in our organization is when Mac users complain that their passwords haven't been updated even after changing their passwords. Let me explain this in detail. If you are using a Mac laptop or a desktop, every time you change your password, you need to log into Keychain Access and update your new password once again. This is in addition to changing your password in your organization's self-service portal. The report I'm going to show you, it is going to now have a list of top issues, that is faced by the Mac users, the Windows users, and the Linux users. So it seems like password resets again comes into the picture. Now, if you look at the solutions that we have on different topics, so it brings me to an insight that we have Mac password resets has the least number of solutions, even though it's one of the top issues faced by the Mac users, right? So that is a very good insight. Now because now most of the users who are new to Mac will not have this knowledge. You can put together a solution base to help out such cases. So if you feel your audience would prefer a video demo, put together a small video showing them the steps. What better way to teach new users some cool steps than with a new video, right? So the suggestion here would be to look for topics with least solutions and encourage technicians to create more knowledge base. Identify top contributors to knowledge base and provide incentives, to promote the self-service solution. All right, so the final secret is to improve the communication. So whoever said knowledge is the key to success certainly was referring to the help desk. The more knowledge your end users have regarding their request status, the more reassured they feel, which in turn will definitely increase your customer satisfaction rating. Most customers who log in a request come to you at the stage where they have already tried out everything in their power to resolve the issues themselves. So when they come to the help desk, which they see as a team of experts, they expect a swift response. But that's not always possible. A request to replace a broken piece of tech might be far easier to resolve than a request to upgrade OS or a request for a new piece of tech or software. In cases where you're unable to provide customers an instant resolution or response, reach out to customers and let them know you're working on them. This will give them the much needed assurance, even in worst cases where you cannot give them any information on when the request will be resolved. Just reach out and explain your side of things. 9 out of 10 times, the end users, is more likely to understand us, your situation. We tried this as a little experiment with our own help desk and found that the first response time increases, the happiness rating decreases. And when the first response time decreases, the happiness rating seems to increase. So if you look at this report, the average first response was 2 hours in the month of March, and the happiness rating was 98%. And similarly, for the month of August and September, the average response was around 3 hours, and the happiness rating was around 95%. However, if you look at the month of May and October, the average response time went for a toss, and we saw a major dip in the happiness rating, around 40%. Right? So, what we should probably do here is we should promote first response to gain end user trust. And let's also configure the first response SLA violation and link it with the customer happiness rating to see if we can, find a place for improvement. Right? So that brings us to the end of this webinar. So let me give you a quick summary of everything we discussed. So during the session, we discussed all the ways you can improve your customer experiences with your help desk, such as automating the help desk processes, minimizing the IT service disruptions, avoiding recurring incidents, promoting continuous service improvements, motivating technicians to become more productive, helping customers help themselves, improve communications between end users and technicians. So during the session, I have showed you a few reports that was built using Analytics Plus. So Analytics Plus is a full-blown BI from ManageEngine that integrates with Service Desk Plus seamlessly. And it also provides us with 300 plus pre-built reports and dashboards. In addition to that, it can connect to 30 plus different sources to blend the data. And we have also got AI Assistant, Ask Zia embedded in the solution for easy report creation. And you can also easily collaborate with the team and offer live updates. If you are interested in a free personalized demo or a POC tailored to your requirements, please scan this QR code to get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to help you out. So once again, thank you for attending this webinar, and we'll see you all soon again with an interesting topic.